Some numbers, they're just numbers. But then there are others, numbers that haunt you. And there's one number, above all others, that has echoed through history like some kind of ancient curse. Tonight, we aren't just looking at a number. We're staring right into the abyss.
I mean, it's a number that just carries this weight, right? A chill. It's a sequence of digits that feels way more like a curse than just, a quantity. And get this fear, it's not just some ancient history thing. Oh no, it is alive and well, and it's thriving in the shadows of our digital world.
And you don't have to look far to find it. Just go online. You've got these cursed entities supposedly stalking players in games like Roblox and Minecraft. Remember that infamous username 666 creepypasta that basically haunted all of early YouTube? Or what about those terrifying challenges whispered about in late-night forums? The number, it's become a digital boogeyman. It's like a ghost in the machine.
Okay, so why? Why does this specific number have such a powerful grip on us? I mean, all the way from ancient texts to modern-day memes. What is the source of its dark power? Where did all this start?
Well, for centuries, it's been called the mark of the beast. You've probably heard that. A symbol of just ultimate evil, of imperfection. It's the total opposite of the number 7, which is often seen as this mark of divine perfection, the number of God. And this ancient fear, man, it has spawned some truly fascinating and seriously spooky legends.
And one of the most famous ones? You'd think you'd find it in some dusty old church text, but nope. You find it in a casino, right at the heart of the roulette table.
So, the story goes like this. Francois Blanc, the guy who created the single-zero roulette wheel we all know, he just couldn't crack the secrets of the game. He was stumped. So, what does he do? Legend says he made a pact with the devil himself, all in exchange for the game's intoxicating mysteries. And it was the gamblers, probably after a really bad run of luck, who noticed this chilling coincidence. See, if you take all the numbers on that roulette wheel, from 1 all the way to 36, and you add them all up, 1 plus 2 plus 3, and so on, guess what you get? Yep, 666. So is that just a wild coincidence, or is it a sign of the game's diabolical origins?
But look, that spooky gambler's tale? That's really just the beginning. The number's true origin? Well, it lies in one of the oldest and most famous riddles in the entire Western world. And it's hidden deep within the final book of the Bible.
Because the book of Revelation doesn't just state the number, it actually issues a challenge. It says to reckon it, which basically means to calculate it. And it gives us this absolutely crucial clue. This isn't some mystical, abstract idea. No, it is a human number. It's a code, just waiting for someone to crack it.
Okay, so this is the key to the entire puzzle. For us, today, numbers and letters are two totally separate things, right? But back then, in ancient Hebrew and Greek, the languages the Bible was written in, they weren't separate at all. Their letters were their numbers. Every single letter had a numerical value.
And this whole practice, it actually has a name, gematria. It's the system of turning names and words into numbers just by adding up the value of their letters. So when the Bible says to calculate a human number, it was basically telling its readers, hey, use gematria to figure out whose name this is. All right, so if 666 is the answer, then the big question is, whose name is it? You have to remember, the person writing the book of Revelation was doing it under intense persecution from the Roman Empire. So they were using this code to point a finger at a terrifyingly real and very powerful enemy.
I mean, think about it. Who could have been so hated, so feared that you'd have to condemn them in a secret numerical code and then hide it in a sacred text for all time?
Well, historians and biblical scholars are pretty much all in agreement on this one. The answer is Nero, the Roman Emperor Nero Caesar. This guy was a notoriously cruel emperor who brutally, and I mean brutally, persecuted the early Christians. So, the book of Revelation, it's really seen as a piece of resistance literature. It's a coded attack on the biggest tyrant of the day. And here's exactly how the code works. It's brilliant, really. You take his Greek title, Nero Caesar, which is just Nero Caesar, and you write it out using Hebrew letters. Then you add up the numerical values of those letters. You've got 50 plus 200 plus 6 and on, and the grand total, it comes out to exactly 666. It was a direct hit. A direct but very, very dangerously hidden accusation.
Now, for a long, long time, this was just a really strong theory. But then
came the discovery. In some of the oldest surviving manuscripts of the Bible, archaeologists found something that provided the smoking gun. Because in these ancient texts, they didn't have the number 666. They had 616.
And this wasn't just some scribe making a typo. It was proof of a debate. See, in Latin, the emperor's name was often spelled without the final N at the end, so Nero Caesar. And when you run that Latin spelling through the Hebrew gematria, the total is 616. This is huge. It proves the early Christians all knew the answer was Nero. They were just arguing over which spelling of his name to use for the code.
So there you have it. The 2,000-year-old code is basically solved. The beast wasn't some supernatural demon. He was a first-century Roman tyrant. But this brings up a whole new question, doesn't it? If it was just an ancient political code, why on earth is 666 still the scariest number in the world?
It's because, as the centuries rolled by, the original context just got lost. People totally forgot about Nero and the Roman persecution. And so all that was left was the number itself. It got stripped of its original meaning and was just floating out there, free to become this universal symbol for evil, a kind of free-floating sign for the devil himself.
But not everyone sees this number as a mark of pure fear. There are some who've looked at the numbers 3, 6, and 9 and have seen something completely different, a key to the universe. The brilliant inventor Nikola Tesla, for instance, was absolutely obsessed with them. And in these esoteric systems like vortex mathematics, these numbers are thought to represent a higher dimensional energy that governs our entire physical reality. So from that perspective, 6 isn't a symbol of evil at all. It's a crucial piece of a divine cosmic code.
And all of this leaves us with one final, kind of haunting question, doesn't it? We've gone from an ancient coded message targeting a specific tyrant to creating modern digital monsters in our video games. It really seems like we have this deep, deep human need to give a name and a number to the things we fear. The original beast might be long gone, but the legacy of 666 is a powerful reminder that we are always busy creating new ones.